Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, so here's the sweat. I mean, Morikawa could have made a 6-footer and put this away earlier, but
yeah, he had actually two chances.
Yeah, but he made an eagle before, so I'm not worried. I'm not yelling at him. But so they suspended right now, and both of us have Hideki, so he's off the board. It's just Morikawa and Boccia. One of them's got to get a birdie. Two pars don't do it. Par doesn't pass him. So somebody's got to get a birdie, either Boccia right now on 17, or either him or Morikawa on 18. Boccia's sitting in the rough, laying 3 on the par 5, about 20. It says 26 feet. I don't know. That could be anything. I mean, right. I don't know what it is, but it says 26 feet, laying on the rough on the left of the green, and Morikawa's in the middle of the fairway on 18. So we're favored. You know what I mean? Like, so
you're definitely the favorite.
Yeah, so we're favored. That's all I can ask, right?
Yeah, and I think Morikawa is going to be the one who gets it done for you. So
you don't think Boccia can get up and down from 26 freaking feet?
I think he does, but I think that these holes are crazy, and when you're in the weird rough, like
I don't even know what the lie is. I don't know anything.
Dude, you're in good shape. Great job.
Yeah.
What's up with the showdowns? How do you do this?
Well, with this one, the whole key is, again, I just used the projections, but the key is, again, what you use for your contest sims. And for this particular one, I just simmed it against my own pool. I ran the 5,000 lineups and whatever, and I used that pool as the contest sims. And then and because I thought the projections were pretty tight, you know what I mean? I didn't think I was going to get any edge doing anything else. So I just ran it. And then I went min uniques 3 until I got to, where my aggregate projection dipped, and I just ran it, and I forgot about it because I was getting crushed in the early slate in baseball, and then all of a sudden I looked, I'm like, wait a minute, we got something. Hopefully this gets through it. I'm probably unless they start this soon, I'm probably not going to get a chance to watch it because I'm going out in about half an hour.
No, you're. I mean, like the worst your finish is second.
Oh no, I know that. But
that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great starting point. But you have I would say you're like a 65%, 70%. What do you think?
Gotta be, right?
Yeah, at least. Maybe a little higher.
I mean, I bet you Boccia's got to be 60% right now to make birdie.
To birdie? The only problem is the way these greens are running out.
Well, obviously. I mean, there's a problem, but that's why he's not 80. It's like...
Right. No, fair enough. I like I said, 65, 70 is pretty good when second place is your worst. Either way, amazing job, man.
Well, hold on. I got to make sure I make my pars too. I mean, Morikawa's got to make par, and then Boccia's got to make par too.
I mean, if Morikawa's not going to make par from the middle of the fairway,
he'll make par easy.
Get out of here, bro.
Exactly. So good news.
Let's go.
And I'm in business in the tennis again, going for 3 in a row.
Oh my God, this guy with the tennis. So like, can you give us a little glimpse into what's going on?
I do the video every time. I mean, like this one I got lucky. This one I was all ready to put my lineups in. Then I said, you know what? It's only 11 game slate. Should I also just like do a geo mean filter and just get sick ownership? And I did it, and then I was able to do it, and I got 40. I played 40 lineups on an 11 game slate and got 34 uniques, which is like nearly impossible. So I only owed 6 push-ups, which I did on screen.
Okay.
And and I have the nuts in like 2 lineups. Now the nuts, still has to get there. But right now I have 2 unique lineups with the nuts. And I got like 2 left.
That's awesome, man. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. So it's a 6:40 start time. So we should probably who you gonna beat over there at the head with that bat? I mean.
No, it's like my lucky bat. Like I bring it out during August because August has always been for baseball my winningest month for whatever reason. I've won 7 times the 6 figures in August. So they sent me bats from DraftKings. So I'm holding one as a lucky emblem.
Oh, not to mention, by the way, in the 4444 I have the 4444 I have Bradley.
Let's go.
Yeah. I also have
the
the
4-4-4-4, but I do have Bradley in my 4-4-4. I played 1-4-4-4, and he's in that one. So we're riding on Bradley. Let's go.
yeah, and I also have the hashtag 27% owned Grazerman.
I mean, it doesn't matter, right? At a certain point, like you said,
it literally doesn't matter at all.
It literally doesn't matter. It just there's a lot of golf, a lot of scoring, a lot of things that happen.
Cam Davis was 3 under. He gave it back in the last couple of holes.
A lot of guys did. I thought that like the guy who played the best today actually was Wyndham. And
how did he do?
When you hit 3 balls in the water, it makes it tough. It makes it really hard.
Yeah.
So, but Wyndham played terrific, and he was my highest owned guy. So I'm a little disappointed, but I have a COVID comeback, so I'm hoping it doesn't stick with me, but for whatever reason, yeah, it happens.
Well, I'll tell you this. So Stacy had COVID for like a week, and then she was healthy for a week, and then she got like a 2-week cold after that. So call it COVID comeback or whatever it is.
Whatever it is, it seems that I guess I got what your wife had, because
is that a thing? It's called COVID comeback.
There's a bunch of I looked it up a bunch of times. I had my family do it. I'm going to meet with my doctors because it's been a month now. I had strep throat, and I'm usually like fairly healthy on that front, and lately it's not been good. But let's focus on the DFS. You're crushing it.
I can't get my SaberSim to log in right now, which is a little annoying.
Let's see. Okay. Let's see.
Oh, I could probably do it on hold on, let's see. I don't know what's going on. It's like when I hit the button, like nothing. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So who do you like? You like the pitchers, the 2 chalk? I mean, what else you want to do? You're gonna do?
I feel like so here's my thing. I'm playing two entries here. Okay. So one of them is going to be a single entry. In that situation, I'm going to play Skeens and C's.
Okay.
I'm happy to talk about like large field, and I'm going to play my other thing like a large field. I'm going to probably play Canning.
Ooh.
And I'm probably going to play
like them apples.
I'm probably going to play Getty as my other pitcher.
Well, and there you have it, huh?
It's like the just in case, you're playing one lineup to try to beat whatever 5,000 lineups. It all depends on what you're trying to accomplish. Okay, so if I'm going to try to take it, look, you always try to win. Right. So that's my strategy. And in those lineups, I'm not doing anything crazy. I'm stacking the Phillies and Braves. I also think that both Phillies and Braves pitchers are completely viable. And if I was playing 150, you'd hear me talking about them as being viable options that are being too low owned. At the same time, if I'm playing 2 lineups, I'm going to side with, okay, my single entry, I can eat the chalk at pitching. But if I'm going to play the larger field stuff with like one and a half lineups, I guess 2 lineups, let's get creative with the pitching and let's play Getty and Canning and stack up the teams that nobody's going to stack. Like, well, they're not going to be able to stack because Philly is an awesome upside stack tonight that people can't afford to play on DraftKings. On FanDuel, they can. There'll be a little bit higher ownership, but I'm not saying this works out every time. Like I said, Sanchez and Schwellenbach are completely viable options. It's a 5-game slate. If you can get different enough by playing 2 of these off-the-board pitchers while combining that as a game stack in good hitting environments in Atlanta, I think I'm just going to roll with that. So I see all 4 prongs of that game, but for me, I'm only playing 2 lineups. If I was playing 150, I probably would have 20% of each of the pitchers and probably 20% of each of the stacks.
And you're not doing you're not doing a 5-man today, are you?
What's that?
You're doing a 5-man or no?
I don't have any interest in a 5-man, but if it ends up in my early 2 builds, I ended up with a 4-2-2, 4-2-1-1, and a 4-3-1. So I'm happy for it. I'm fine with it. I just don't. It's not my goal. if I had to pick another team to pick, it'd be the Angels. The problem is the ownership is a little too high for their actual production. But in terms of like another team that I like that's off of the mega chalk, that would be it. Because Toronto's going to get the ownership. I think the Angels are actually going to be the next most owned. So that's the problem. Same thing with Baltimore. Baltimore probably follows them. And then after that, you're going to get a whole bunch of randomness. Now, you could argue for Houston. You could argue for both sides of San Diego and the Mets. All I would say is, again, I would have 20% of each of those. I would make sure to have 10% of the Mets if I was playing in a large, in the lottery. If I was maxing 150, the Mets at 10% feels like the right number, just in case it's not the right C's,
I'll tell you what I like. I like your idea of, well, not your idea, but I like the Mets as a contrarian play. And I like your Lodolo.
Okay. I like it too. I didn't get to it in my first build, but I like the Lodolo, and the only thing is like Lodolo is going to have some ownership. So I was thinking like, okay, if I'm going to play a giant field and I'm only playing like one lineup, I might want to just play like Severino or Arrighetti and just, hope for the best. Yeah. Our guy won. He finished second in the single entry last night. Excuse me. Leonidas did a great job.
Oh, really?
With a pitcher who never pitched.
Oh, he did with Maeda?
With Maeda, yeah.
Oh my God.
Maeda pitched today, of course. Yeah. Oh, AJ is saying somehow I don't know who Bobby actually likes. So if I was playing 150 today, I'm just gonna say what I would do. I would have 20% each of Atlanta and Philadelphia. I also probably would have 20% each of their pitchers in non-Philadelphia Atlanta lineups. I would have 0 Toronto 5-man stacks. I'd be happy with Toronto 4 or less. But the other teams that I would focus on would be, so I guess the actual teams I'm focusing on are Philadelphia, Atlanta. The Angels are probably a little too popular for me. I think I would go with the Mets in large field, and I think I would lean more towards Baltimore in small field. But Philadelphia, Atlanta is where I'm betting on the hitters. And if I was playing 150, I would bet 20% on the pitchers too to hedge it a little bit. But I actually like the hitting in Atlanta.
Oh, wait, I'm getting I'm seeing a report, not a report, somebody in one of my other Discord channels who knows what he's talking about, saying something about Skeens maybe limited.
Yeah, there's a lot of rumors about this. I actually think the pricing is kind of fixed into the pricing.
Okay.
I don't like. There's not like Corbin Burns is the other guy.
Right.
If you're gonna go that route, I'm not going to go that route. So I know already I'm not playing Corbin Burns. I understand he might have a great game. He's a great pitcher. I just am not doing that. So for me, it's easy. If I was playing 150, it might be a little bit tougher, but I would say at least go half the field on Burns. I just don't think it makes enough sense to against the team that strikes out the least. Even on a 5-game slate, you have the 2 highest upside pitchers by far that, because of the Skeens thoughts, and I'm looking at his pitch count at 97. That's plenty. It's more than plenty. And yeah, every now and then someone can get roughed up. Maybe if I was playing 150, maybe I'd have 5% of Cincinnati stacks, maybe a little bit higher. That's one way to get different on a 5-game slate. It's a 5-game slate. You don't want to, focus on the entire best optimal. No, you want to try to get a little bit different. So whatever Cincinnati is, maybe you double that for individual players. I also don't think you need to stack 5-3 or 5-2 today. I think it's a 5-gamer. If it was me, I would be looking for single entry at a 4 something. I just think you're asking for a lot by trying to ask for too much from one offense. And if there was one offense, it'd be Toronto, who's going to be the most popular, or the Angels, who are going to be the second most popular. So I would try to get away from that. That's my overall thoughts. I know. So you're going to have a good shot in the showdown here.
Yeah.
Hard early on to know how everything's going in golf, but man, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, that's all I need. I mean, like,
yeah, absolutely. What time do you guys leave for Vegas tomorrow?
11, leaving the house 9:15.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, I'm totally packed. Packed with stuff. I got 11. I'm arriving at like 2. We're going straight to Circa. We're doing registering. I'm actually meeting with what's his hope, maybe with that Jeff Benson guy, but something else. And then I'm probably meeting up with this guy that I used to play poker. That plays poker for me, who I literally have never met. He's been playing for me for like 10 years.
Oh, really? You know about it?
Never met him. He plays from Vietnam, and never met him. And he had like some extra cash for me, and he saw here I was going to Vegas. He's in California, and I was I'll drive over there. I've literally never met him. It's like, so that would be cool.
Oh, nice.
And then and I'm meeting Mark Grigorich. I'm paying him for some Survivor Pool thing. Then we got dinner, and then tomorrow we have the UFC.
And I know it'll be a good dinner. I know Ashley is a foodie, and she knows her stuff.
Yep. Yes, she does. She
certainly does. All right. Yeah, we got Rick saying that he's doing great in his golf lineup, sitting 3rd and 6th so far.
Nice.
Nice. What do you got going on today? What do you got for baseball tonight?
Yeah, I'm going bananas is what I'm doing.
Just avoid it all. Like go for the
yeah. Well, so this is what I'm doing. I'm going with what the Sims are giving me. So they've been good to me in Showdown today, so I may as well give them a break. And I have like just a ton of the Mets. And a ton of the Mets, and I'm actually not really fading Skeens. I'm playing a whole bunch of Skeens. And also I'm getting a decent amount of Lodolo.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and so it's, but I do have Cease too. But the thing is, I do also have like the Mets. That's the point.
Yeah. No, it makes that. I mean, that's what it is. I love the idea of like trying to get to like some different builds, but it's just game theory. Like, and it's the worst slate for it because you have probably 2 of the 5 highest strikeout upside pitchers, including number 1 with Skeens, like on this slate. So it's a little bit hard to just go, okay, I don't want to, but I think it would be interesting running like maybe not a 150 build, but maybe you make half your lineups with none of Skeens or C's. I mean, I'm just trying to think of creative ways you can try to compete, because like you go Lodolo Schwellenbach or Lodolo Sanchez, Lodolo Burns as your main thing. I actually think I'd be more inclined to go for like a weird play like Severino and Arrighetti just to get even, and Canning to get a little bit weirder even, because it's just so hard on 5 game slates, but there's so much variance in baseball. I just think it's like the right thing to not be entirely right,
Yep.
But if I had to decide with one way or the other, I would go Skeens overseas personally. And I probably would say that every single day for the next 8 years. So get ready for it. It's just the right thing to do. And Burns, yeah, it's probably too low of ownership for this slate. It's also like a tough high upside matchup. And we see all the time, man, like Aaron Nola pitches a good game yesterday, 6 innings, but he has 2 strikeouts. You just can't win like that consistently with spending up a pitcher. You need the strikeouts.
Just so you guys know, and I'm not going to be able to update the projections on this. There's like some surprises in the Mets lineup that just came out. No JD Martinez. I mean, it's a surprise to me at least. And there was another one. maybe just that's it. Oh, let's see.
No, there's probably more. Let me double check the starting
Jesse
lineup.
Winker is in.
So Lindor, Vientos, Alonso, Nimmo, Alonso, Winker, Iglesias, sixth, Alvarez, McNeil, Taylor.
Taylor's the one that's in.
Taylor's a little bit surprising, but it's a Thursday, so you get weird lineups. So you're gonna probably, what do we only have? Like, I think we only have 2 more to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're gonna get some funky lineups on Thursdays. Let's see real quick. Oh no, we got them all now. That was the last one. To be honest with you, I kind of, so 1, 2, 3. I wish the Mets threw a lefty or 2 more against these, but you got to work with what you got, I guess. But
Yep.
Only 4 lefties. Wow. And look, a lot of teams are it's traveling days for a lot of teams. Cincinnati's going down to Pittsburgh. New York's going all the way to San Diego. Usually that's good for the pitchers. That's why the totals will be low. I also think there's some merit to like just saying what the hell. Like on a 5-gamer, you have to get weird.
No, absolutely.
Play some of the Arrighetti and the Sanchez's and definitely the Dolo, but he's logical. But yeah, I think you have to get a little bit creative. And this is they're opening. So Griffin Canning is not opening the game. Usually I would say I would avoid these situations if it was Detroit. But for the Angels, I actually think it's a bump to Canning. I think he comes in likely in the 2nd or 3rd inning at the latest. And then you go through most of the best part of the order. So at least you have to face them less. So actually, I think Canning is the best way to get different as a pitcher, along with Arrighetti. I know it's gross, but it is what it is. It's a 5-gamer. Oh, Severino would be the other one. Severino is probably the most interesting one. Because he actually has, like, if things go a certain way, he's got the upside to actually be with the top guys, but it would take a lot. His strikeout projection is like so low today. It's below Canning's. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But it's hard to stack Philly, so I like the idea of stacking Philly. And Schwellenbach has been good, but I believe the Phillies offense overall. And I believe in the Atlanta offense, and I like this the right stadium. Like I said, I think both pitchers are interesting, but I think both lineups is where I'm gonna probably do most of my stuff tonight.
Yeah, I'm they're insisting on getting me this Lodolo.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what? I'm getting a little bit of what's his name myself, the Canning.
Yeah, I think it makes enough sense just to differentiate for sure. I actually think he's going to end up more. I mean, it's going to be still low, but it's going to be more on than what the projections have him at. I'm sorry, higher than what the projections have him at. Sanchez has been terrible on the road. I think it's a good excuse to play Atlanta, and I think it's a good spot. He keeps the ball on the ground pretty well, but you have like 5 fly ball hitters in the Atlanta offense. I think Atlanta is interesting for that reason. It's always interesting to me on small slates. So when the pitcher is not getting played and the hitters aren't getting played,
right,
against them, you know. So I feel like that's like the most obvious spot. And I would again, playing 150, I would probably try to be overweight both of those things. Yeah, for sure. Just based on the ownership. All right, let's see. Cam the Man says Baltimore seems to go crazy or so. Yeah, it's true. So the problem with Baltimore has an incredibly powerful, potent offense. The problem with them is they could be a little bit more patient. They could work counts a little bit further. And you've got like 3 platoons that usually hit you at some point, at least when a lefty's pitching, maybe 2 for a righty. They're good and they're deep. I think that they're going to be owned enough to where, you know what? Like I think it's fair enough to play a Baltimore stack. I just think like I would play Baltimore exclusively as a 5-man stack. Like I usually say the opposite, but I think Baltimore is like, okay, you get to Arrighetti early and then you end the game. And I think Baltimore can put up those 10 runs. But I personally am siding with the Arrighetti side. Just because he's so low owned, and like Cam was mentioning, like Baltimore does seem to be boom or bust, and it's partly because they don't take enough pitches. Like if you look at pitches taken per game, it's the Yankees and Dodgers. There's nobody that close, and usually that's it. Oh, the Phillies, the next team. Usually that's a good sign of the great offenses, the teams that actually have the most pitches thrown to them.
Right.
So anyway.
All right, I got to get going because we got to get to dinner. And Slate's locking anyway. So you'll hear from me. Root me in. At this point I'm probably not get a chance to see it. So root me in for the showdown for those birdies.
Let's go.
And I'll catch you later on.
All right, buddy. Good luck. Have a great time.
Okay, later.
All right, man. Good luck, everybody, and I'll